Worldwide deaths related to COVID-19 surpassed 5 million on Friday, according to a Reuters tally, with unvaccinated people particularly exposed to the dangerous Delta strain. More than half of all global deaths reported on a 7-day average were in the United States, Russia, Brazil, Mexico, and India. While it took just over a year for the COVID-19 death toll to hit 2.5 million, the next 2.5 million deaths were recorded in just under 8 months, according to a Reuters analysis. There has been increasing focus in recent days on getting vaccines to poorer nations, where many people are yet to receive a first dose, even as their richer counterparts have begun giving booster shots. The United States, which has been battling vaccine misinformation, surpassed 700,000 deaths on Friday, the highest toll of any country. As a region, South America has the highest death toll in the world, accounting for 21% of all reported deaths, followed by North America and Eastern Europe. However, India, one of the first countries ravaged by the Delta variant, has gone from an average of 4,000 deaths a day to less than 300 as its vaccination campaign is rolled out. The Delta variant is now the dominant strain across the globe and has been reported in 187 out of 194 World Health Organization member countries.
Plumes of smoke billowed from the tiny Honduran island of Guanaja on Saturday. A huge fire raged across the tourism-dependent Caribbean island about 44 miles off the north coast of Honduras, forcing hundreds of residents to flee for safety. More than 200 houses and businesses were destroyed. Video posted on social media show residents trying to battle the blaze, which began Saturday before daybreak with just buckets of water. Hours later, the Honduran Air Force dropped water on the island in an attempt to douse the flames. No lives were lost, but there is a lot of damage, says Max Gonzalez. He's Minister of the National System for Risk Management and National Contingencies Agency.
A la población le decimos que ya los equipos tanto de rescate.
We tell the population that rescue teams and firefighters are working in the area. We will not rest until the fire is under control.
Y no vamos a descansar hasta poder controlar el incendio.
At the same time, the teams will provide humanitarian aid to the affected people.
Para poder atender con ayuda humanitaria a las personas afectadas.
The picturesque island, popular with snorkelers and divers, does not have its own firefighting service.
How can you be pro-life but force a rape victim to have her rapist baby?
Women's rights advocates on Saturday gathered at the Texas Capitol along with hundreds of other locations across the United States in support of reproductive freedom. This comes after Texas's so-called heartbeat law, which went into effect on September 1st, that bans abortion after cardiac activity is detected in the embryo, usually around 6 weeks, before most women even know they are pregnant. Former Texas Senator Wendy Davis.
And I have to tell you, on September the 1st, when Senate Bill 8 went into effect, this fighter who is standing in front of you, I was at an all-time low. I felt demoralized, defeated. And it's not because we were thinking about ourselves. It's because we could see around the bend what was about to come. We knew the human impact that would occur in the wake of this law, and it's worse than we ever imagined it could be.
Following the Texas law, the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision, denied a request from abortion and women's health providers to block its enforcement. Since the law was enacted, hundreds of women in Texas have driven to other states for abortions, while others have sought abortion-inducing pills by mail or visited crisis pregnancy centers that encourage women not to get abortions. Abortion clinics are struggling to survive as patient visits decline and staff quit. Over the past month, abortion rights advocates in the U.S. Justice Department have challenged the law in state and federal courts. Washington, D.C. was one of the sites for the coast-to-coast marches. Demonstrators marched through the streets to the Supreme Court 2 days before the court reconvenes for a session in which the justices will consider a Mississippi case that could enable them to overturn abortion rights established in the landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade case.
mission that I have, and that's reaffirming women's right to choose and keeping the government out of our bodies. And it's important to me because while I've never been faced with that choice, fortunately, there are many women who have, and our government and men have no say in the outcome when it comes to our bodies. And furthermore, for the people who don't support women's right to choose, it's those same people who don't believe in social programs to care for unwanted children. So it's the ultimate hypocrisy.
Biden's going to work like hell to make sure we get both these passed, and I think we will get them passed.
That's the pledge President Biden made on Saturday as the core of his domestic agenda, a $1 trillion infrastructure bill and a multi-trillion-dollar social spending plan, hit a roadblock in Congress. Infighting within his own party between moderates and left-leaning progressives has threatened to snag his two signature efforts. Biden says he believes both bills can pass, and he's hitting the road so that he can sell them to the American public.
My objective here is to make sure we put in place the things that are going to make life more livable for ordinary people. I mean that sincerely. That's not a political statement. It's a reality. There's nothing in any of these pieces of legislation that's radical, that is unreasonable, that is, when you look at it individually. So I'm going to try to sell what I think the people, American people, will buy.
House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi told Democratic lawmakers in a letter on Saturday that the House must approve the infrastructure bill, quote, well before October 31st, when highway funding legislation is set to expire. She said talks are continuing over the social spending bill and, quote, we will and must pass both bills soon. Moderate Democratic lawmakers wanted an immediate vote on a $1 trillion infrastructure bill in the House of Representatives that has already passed the Senate, while progressives want to wait until there is an agreement on a sweeping $3.5 trillion bill to bolster social spending and fight climate change. Meanwhile, the White House is still trying to broker deals after Biden went up to Capitol Hill on Friday. Two sources with knowledge of the matter told Reuters Friday that the White House and top Democratic lawmakers have agreed to boost a tax credit for industrial carbon capture projects in a deal that could help solidify support. Senator Joe Manchin, a key vote needed to get anything through a 50-50 Senate, is looking for special considerations for his coal-producing state of West Virginia. Manchin's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The White House says the president and his team will continue to engage with members of the House and Senate throughout the weekend.